we're working on transitions on The Girl I Left Behind. Ideally, we're trying to get to the point where you can play not only the melody, but also the chords, the accompaniment. Okay, and then you can get to the point where you're playing through the melody, and then playing the accompaniment, and then playing the melody, and then playing the accompaniment in a cycle like that. Okay, so the trick becomes, the transitions become the weird part, okay? But more than that is switching in time with the metronome on the chords. So if you're playing in time, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, it's getting your finger where it's supposed to go on the one beat of each measure. That's the tricky part, okay? So what I would do is turn the metronome on 100, and switch with it. Okay, so I'm just going to do a couple bars of that real quick while I have you on here. Where are we here? So I'm going to put the metronome on 100, and we're going to switch through the first four measures. It'll be 1, you're going to go G, C, G, D. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'm just doing one bar, like one line like that to show you what I mean. But just where are you? Here, there we go. Just practicing that at 100 beats per minute and getting used to it. If you find that you're having trouble switching from one to the other, and like the G to the D is the hard part, then just focus on G to D, to G to D, to G to D. Even though it's not what happens in the song, it gets you used to working on that really quick transition from G to D. Okay, so you're practicing the chords at 100 beats per minute, and then you're also going to have to practice the melody at 100 beats per minute, because you want to be able to play the rhythm part, the accompaniment, and the melody at the same speed so you can play them in a cycle. So also practice the melody at 100 beats per minute. But the hard part becomes the transitions. When you get to the end of the last line and you're playing the melody, you're going to go, the last two measures are. The next thing you're going to do is go to a G chord and play the accompaniment, the chords. Okay, so I want you to practice going from the D measure at the end of the song into the G measure, and then going to the G measure on the accompaniment. So they're playing the melody, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, once you get the hang of that, just try and work on it with the metronome at 100 beats per minute. But get that first. Be able to go from one to the other. And what you were having trouble with before was just having your fingers land where they should go. So what I think may help you is focus on just your ring finger at first. Drop your ring finger, then drop your second, then your third, then your pinky, okay? You don't have to go boom, 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 but you can just, as long as the ring finger goes down first, these will drop and pinky can go last. If you watch my hand, I'll try and slow it down a little bit. Ring finger goes down first, then these drop, then pinky. Even though it's happening fast, that's what's happening. And then you're ready to play it through the chord, okay? Just work on that, going from the D measure and G measure of the melody into the G measure of the rhythm, the accompaniment. Okay. The other thing that becomes hard is doing the exact same chord, doing the exact same measures, but switch them. Now you're going to go from the D measure of the accompaniment, the chords, into the G. But what happens is that last G chord, 1, 2, 3, 4, overlaps with the of the melody. Okay, so what we're going to do instead is on the last measure, when you're playing the rhythm, you're going to go 1, 2, rest, and then pick up the melody. Okay, so you're going like this: the D measure, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, rest. Just like that. Here comes again. D, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, rest. And just take your time with it. Take it nice and slow and work on those transitions. Because the next goal will be to play all the way through one into the other and then into the other. All right? That takes care of that part of it. I do want you to actually hear it all the way through and hear what that sounds like. So I'm going to play through the melody into the rhythm, into the melody, and see what you think of it. Okay, this is what it sounds like. One, two, rest. Okay, get the idea? That's what we're working on. I want you to be able to cycle them through just like that. If you notice, I went to that D7 chord instead of the D chord, but you get the idea. That's what we're working on. Okay. And then, is there anything we want to talk about on Fire on the Mountain? Yes. Okay. So on Fire on the Mountain, we're trying to get to where we're playing the whole thing through. That's the trick. The main thing is today we're trying to iron out this this chord. I want you to play that chord just the way that you intuitively are playing it. Okay, this shape. Instead of this, you want this shape. I think that'll help you out a lot. Take it nice and slow. But when you're playing it all the way through, you're gonna get you're going to start to get the hang of what I was talking about, where the top part, the A section, is in the key of G. And then we're going to work on the B section being in the key of C. But when we're working on the chords for this, the way you would play it is that you're actually going to play just a D7 instead of a D chord, because when you're switching for that, it's just 2 beats of the 1, 2, 3, 4th measure. It switches to D7 in that 2 beats right there. And it's a little fast to go from playing a bunch of G's all the way up to here for 2 beats and back down. Okay, so instead we'll switch to a D7, and it's easier because this is your G. Okay, you've got your G right here, and then what you're going to do is just take these 2 fingers and move it to here. Okay, so they stay right where they were on the string, but just move down to the 1st and 2nd fret, and then when you move back to G, they come back up. Okay, so when you're playing the accompaniment for this, and I don't really need you to spend a whole lot of time on this, but just get the concept for this week. You'd play 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's how you would play through that. So you'd switch back and forth between G to D7 and back to G. Okay, get the hang of that this week and see how you do. If you have any questions, let me know.